So I don't think most people realize this, but the US government is now an investor in the stock market. The US now owns 15% of a company called MP Materials, which is the only rare earth mining company in the country.
Hey everybody, today we'll be covering MP Materials. As you already know by now, MP Materials, the US government has a stake in it, about 15%. So that's the reason why we're covering it today in this video. And we have chosen it for our high conviction stocks for the next 10 years. So what does that mean? So for the next 10 years, we will be looking for dips, crash, and buying opportunities. So the way that we're going to be looking for those buying opportunities would be through Fibonacci retracements, which we already have here inputted in TradingView on a daily chart. As you can see here, we took from the low up to the high, and we will be tracking around the range of 0.382 and 0.618. This is our golden buy zone. This is the zone where we'll be waiting for it to come down, and we'll be looking for our confirmation indicators, which we will be discussing over here exactly when to buy. So we can buy low, sell high, or dollar cost average lower, so we can get more shares. Because the goal is to get at least 100 shares of these high conviction stocks for the next 3 to 5 years. And that's how we're going to create wealth. So let's discuss that. But there's a few more things that we're going to be discussing. We're going to touch on the VIX, a little bit on the VIX of exactly what's happening here and why that's important. And as well, we'll be going into our tracker. So this is our tracker for liquidity. We'll be discussing if that's going to be helping or giving us an edge in when to time the market a little bit. Okay, so we'll be discussing with the liquidity there. This is also a liquidity tracker, short term, long term. This is also the algorithm that we have inputted to track stocks, exactly if they're in an uptrend or if it's a high conviction stock. So we'll be discussing that, and exactly the target profits in our algorithm have been inputted as well, which we'll be discussing. And exactly if the stock that we'll be covering today, which is MP Materials, if that's also going to be a long-term hold, which we already concluded that it will be a long-term hold. But over here, we'll be discussing the profit targets. If you do want to swing trade, this is our swing trade tracker with MP Materials, so we'll also discuss that as well. And also we'll be discussing the fear and greed and why that is important. All right, so let's get into it. So let's go to the chart again. All right, so back to the charts. This is the chart for MP Materials. Again, what we're looking for is buying opportunities. So the buying opportunities for MP Materials, we're going to be waiting. As you can see here, MP Materials is at 98.65. It is reaching the top Fibonacci retracements right here. And as you can see here, there's a slight momentum decreasing. So, but it's still bullish. As you can see here, it dipped all the way down to 88.60 and then it went back up. Now closed at 98. So that's one wild ride that we had today for October 14. So we'll be discussing for October 15 what's going to be happening. And as you can see here, it's following this trend line. And most of the trend line is going to be bouncing around here. I wouldn't be recommending buying anything at this high price, but you never know what's really going to happen. But based on this, if you do want to buy low and sell high, you do not want to buy at this level. We on this channel like to buy in the red, like to buy in the dips or pullbacks or crashes. That's exactly how you build wealth, not through when the market's going high or very heated or overbought. And I think that's exactly where potentially we could be with MP Materials. But there is something that MP Material could be signaling that it could be going higher, which is our speed trend analyzer right here. So even though it's going up, you see it's in the red here, which means that potentially if this flip green above the zero line here, MP Material could go way past $100 and potentially more. So that's also another scenario that could happen. But most likely what we want to aim for is MP Materials to be hitting the level of 100, 101, get rejected and come back down. So we want this to go here, and then we want it to get rejected, try to go back up and then come back down here to around 86, and potentially with enough momentum it could break into our buy zone, and we'll be buying between the 86.43 and 77.03. It may not hit that level depending on how much buying pressure there will be. Again, time will tell. So that's exactly what we will be waiting for to buy, and that'll be our golden buy zone right there between 86.43, 81.73, and as well as 77.03. These are the three price range that we want to be buying within. So we'll wait for that if that does end up coming. Also, there is earnings coming up, so we're going to wait for that. So within the earnings, I would forecast that there will be a lot of volatility. So with this trend going on here with that earnings, if it does get overbought, overheated during the earnings, it could come back down, and then we'll probably get our opportunity to be buying in our golden buy zone of 86.43, 81.73, and will be great to get back into it from there. Okay, so let's get into the VIX and why that's important. Okay, so the reason why the VIX is important here is you can see it has spiked in the last couple of days to over 20, over 22. That's a good reset for the markets. And if you don't already know what the VIX is a volatility index. That means that it's an inverse index that tracks the market opposite way. So whenever the VIX is high, the market is going down. When the VIX is low, the market is going higher. So as you can see here, the market has sold off and the VIX has spiked all the way up and hit our resistance level right here. So most likely this is signaling us that the market is ready to go back up, as the VIX could be getting rejected and coming back down. And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see the VIX coming back down below 20, all the way down to 15. And then we're going to have a whole new leg for the market to be climbing on. And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to come all the way back down to the 16 to the 15 level within this range here that we have created. Most of the bull market has been bouncing and chopping around this area here between the 16 and 15. If it goes back down there, we're going to be seeing a new rally for Bitcoin, or a new rally for MP materials, or any other stocks that we'll be tracking. That's a high conviction. Okay, so that's why the VIX is important. Now let's get into our tracker here. Okay, so the liquidity tracker, this aligns with exactly what we're talking about. The liquidity outlook for 5 to 9 days is bullish. As you can see here, the liquidity is at 91 out of 100. That's really good. 7 days, 18.1% has increased. So there's a long-term tailwind that's backing up our movement for the upside. As you can see here, in the last 24 hours, we have 28.6% of liquidity that's flowing back into the market, which is really, really good. So to conclude, that means that the phase that we're actually in a reflow of liquidity that's coming back into the market. So our recommendation right here, again, it's not financial advice, but our recommendation is buy the dips, and whatever high conviction stocks that you're already in right now, just ride the trend. But if you have an opportunity to be buying dips, we'll be buying dips right now. Okay, so that's what the tracker is telling us to do right now. Okay, so tomorrow 85%, that is going to be going up. In the next 2 to 3 days is 79%. That the strength trend is 24. That's going to be going up, continuing. Okay, so now let's discuss the MP Materials stock and the reason why we believe this is a high conviction stock. So this is our algorithm that we have inputted. It automatically tracks every little criteria, which we're not going to get into. But as you can see here, the price right now closed at 98.65. MP Materials, MP. The trend that we're on right now is an uptrend. Our score is at 86 for the algorithm, and it is labeled as high conviction, and we would DCA long term into this stock. Okay, now let's get into our price targets. So in the next 1 to 3 months, our tracker has indicated that our first target will be 113.48, and in the next 6 to 12 months, our next profit targets will be 108.52, and then our third profit targets will be 12 to 36 months. MP Material will be trading at 157.84. That's a good thing there for those who are already in it and those who want to get into it. Okay, so we don't have MP Material input here, so we're gonna go type it in, the tracker to load. Okay, there we have it. Let's fix this a little bit. All right, so that's what we have for MP Material. Again, it aligns with our uptrend because the 20 moving average is above our 50 moving average. So we are in a bull market for the MP Materials, and the exhaustion levels here is only at 16.9. What that means is that it's out of 100. So we're nowhere near close to being exhausted for MP Materials. We're only at 16.9. Patterns that we're showing right now is a hammer, which is a bullish pattern. So that's good long term. Any sort of pullback that we have have, we'll be buying it up. As you can see here, our tracker has inputted that. That's a good high conviction stocks for us to be buying at every pullback. Okay, so again, our perfect entry band, if we can get it, will be between 75.64 and 98.65. So that's again similar to what we have indicated over here between our Fibonacci retracements. It states at 86.43 and 77.03. So our tracker states 75.64 between 98.65. So that's close to what we're wanting to get into. Okay, so the profit target here that we have for MP materials, first target profit would be 120.38. This is potentially going to happen in the next 20 days. As you can see here, our tracker indicates the profit target of the first profit target would be 100% in 20 bars, which is 20 days. We would be hitting profit target is 120.38 in the next 20 days. So that's potentially where it could be going in the next 20 days, $120.38. So the fear and greed. The fear right now is at 30. What does that mean? Anything below 50 would be a buying opportunity. As Warren Buffett states, we buy the fear and we buy the fear and we sell the greed. So anytime it hits the 0 and the 50, around this range here, we're at 30 right now. That means we are at a buy. Anytime there's the fear, we want to buy the market because we want to buy low and sell high. So that's the reason why we want to track the fear and greed as well. MP materials could be trading very good in the next 20 days or are buying opportunities. So we want to wait for it to come back down here between the 86.43 and the 77.03 in order for us to buy low and sell high. Okay, so that's what we have for you right now. If you like the video, please subscribe and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.